Get comfortable. Huh? It worked? Thank you, brother. You're the man.
Shippity shit.
Alright. Let me go find you. Where you at? You're at the yellow, okay.
I'm right next to you.
Okay. You fishing or you fished out? Let's fish.
I don't have a thing.
There's a fishing rod right here, bro. Right next to me.
Oh. No thanks.
Yeah, you just have to break the thing that has fishing rod in it and they'll break out. There's a blue pump right there if you want.
Okay.
Alright, so basically if you die, they're just gonna respawn you in the air and they're gonna come back down. Okay? But you don't lose your guns or your materials. So I recommend you get your materials now because you won't get a chance to get materials. We're already up 4.
Alright. Let's see, there's a shield potion here. You want it?
Did I show you? I sent you 2 videos, controller players. When you get a chance, look at it, bro. One is a guy that plays on Combat Pro, so he's just like his movement is everything. So you should learn like how to move around. And the other guy is like a guy that just won a cash cup for 8,000 recently, and it's a controller player. It's a kid.
Oh, should probably move, huh?
I'm moving already. You can time it, bro. Look at you get used to it. When you get used to the map, you can see it like how much time you have to like actually how much to like stick around into the storm. And the storm is on my butt. Oh. Alright. So now we get some action. Oh, Wolfie left. Oh no, he didn't leave. He just died. Alright, let's kill people together, bro. Damn, they double team me. I'm gonna kill him. I need help. Bro, I'm bodying niggas right now. Fuck out of here, nigga. I have 1 health. How many kills you got? I got 6.
0.
Come to me, come to me. Let's fight together. This guy right here, right here. He's coming to you. Got him. Just got coordinate, bro.
Oh, from the hill. Oh.
Bitch ass nigga, got him. Oh, somebody sniped me good. You fuck with this game mode for practice?
Straight.
Oh, she got me.
Yeah, you gotta kill it.
Nice, brother. Damn, this is a close game.
Got one. 2 limbs. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Doug, where you at, bro?
I'm like right next to you.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's a nigga right here. Right here. On me. Oh, he got me.
Yeah, this game was fun.
What?
So this game mode is fun.
Yeah, it's just like deathmatch.
Oh, just ran up on me with the shotgun SMG combo.
Yeah, that's the combo you gotta learn, bro.
I don't got an SMG on me, so oh my god.
I got one for you.
Damn. You thought, bitch.
Nice, Doug. Nice. Look at you getting better. There you go. Know how to edit and shit too now. Watch how I spray him. Watch. He's right here, right? Bitch ass nigga. I'll play it again for practice.
Yeah, let's keep playing this.
You fuck with this, huh? It's because you don't die forever in this, that's why. It respawns. But this is the best way to get better. So like pick the guns you want to fight with and like just build and shoot. So your grandma is a tenant?
No, she's a landlord.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She has a tenant. She has a tenant in her house or somewhere else.
Other places.
Jesus, you niggas is fucking balling, bro. What do you mean other places other than your own house?
Yeah, nigga.
How many places she got, bro?
I'm not entirely sure.
Uh-huh.
I know for sure at least 2 or 3 for sure.
She got 3 cribs to her name. Yo, respect to that lady.
Yeah, besides this house that I live in, yeah.
Yeah, that's her own. Nobody else's. Wow.
Yeah.
She's a fucking boss, bro.
Yeah.
That ass. Look up to her.
She's been here since so she got here 1970 something, I think.
Yeah, she was one of the first people here, so she got good prices.
Yeah.
Fucking guns here. Everybody took everything.
Yeah, I need some guns now.
I have no guns. I have a bandage launcher and grenades. I just got an SMG. We'll go somewhere else if you want. This is the exact place we landed last game.
Shotgun, I'll take it. Whatever.
I didn't even see that. We'll get mats. I like building and fighting. I get practice for real games. You gotta really get comfortable, Doug. As soon as somebody shoots you, where you at? I'm gonna show you something real quick.
Then do good. Can't pick it up. Actually, drop this. Can't pick it up. Aha. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. What am I doing?
There's SMG here if you want gray. Oh, RPG, let's go. What?
That's gonna be real nice.
Yeah, it's gonna come in handy for sure. I need a shotgun.
As many mats as I can right now.
Yeah, you see why you need it later on? Because you can't pick them up on that circle in the end.
Right. So I got like a purple burst rifle.
Who the fuck? Why do I hear someone shooting but no one's dying? Either our teammates are really bad or they're shooting at something else. Like, what the fuck? I hear mad shooting, no points being scored.
Right. Just trying out different guns and shit.
Yeah, that's probably what. This is the game mode people practice on. I forgot about it. I just remembered today. I was like, wait, why don't we play that instead of like us sitting on creative all the time? You'd actually get a real game experience, and you get you level up. Not as much as like you playing individuals, but still level up.
Mhm. All right. Alright, I'm about to go through the circle.
Yo, I'm so excited about One Piece. It just gets better and better, bro.
Auto thing. Okay, it's an auto.
Oh, whoa, Scar. Hope somebody doesn't come and swipe my shit. Like, Doug, you could have it actually, bro. Take the gun. Take the purple gun. You need to get practice. I don't need that gun.
Okay with this. I got a med kit.
Take the flopper fish by me. It's better.
Alright. What is there any?
Oh, there's people coming. There's people coming. North.
Where you at?
I'm fishing, bro.
My boy. Alright. Alright. Star pump. Where's the
More floppers for you.
more floppers?
Bro, so the way I would do the guns, if I were you, is I would do your pump, then your SMG, then your SCAR. Okay?
Pump, then SMG and Scar.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't have an SMG. I got,
Okay. Then you use the SCAR as your SMG.
Yeah, I got.
You switch to your SCAR. So you pump shot somebody and then you switch to the SCAR and spray. That's gonna be your move. Until you get a SCAR. You gotta make do with what you have, you know?
that pump first.
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
You got people shooting at you?
yeah, already.
Oh, it's over, bro.
Good shit.
He's dead. I'm running at him. He's fucking dead. Fuck out of here, nigga. Get mats, get mats.
Right. Yeah, good sir. Gotta get. Oh shit. Skip.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got a gun just to help you out during the game.
What is this? So like, what is he hitting me with?
Health.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We got comfortable being duos, bro. Told you, that's our main goal. They're definitely gonna have a duo tournaments in like a month or two. Here. So we gotta get good here, and then we gotta practice. We have to get our arena points up. This nigga's an idiot. He just blew himself up. There.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. But we're up though. Oh, I see a bum nigga right here. Look, flying around.
It was super up. Damn, 20 to 8. Alright, where these niggas at?
Yo, isn't this game mad fun though? Like different game modes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I have to change something in my controls. Actually, I'm gonna do it a little later. Oh, there's somebody else's gun. Oh, that's yours.
23 damage on one body.
Remember crouch when you shoot, okay? Alternate between crouch and uncrouch. When you get crouch, you get more accurate. You see? You make more shot. Nice try, bitch. Give me a brick. Give me a brick. You need mats?
I need ammunition.
What kind?
For my scar. That
Here.
medium?
Yeah.
Or that's medium. Oh man.
The way you do it is you go to your screen, you look at the ammo, press square, and press X. You split your thing in half, basically. That's how you do it.
Alright, niggas to the right.
Alright, I'm going with you. You could put, bro, you could be mega aggressive in this. You know that already.
Yeah, you see me already down the hill already.
Yeah, you could be mega aggressive. It's all good.
Yeah, bitch, I hit you. Pop out. Pop out, pussy. Yeah, you dead. Pussy.
Oh, watch out, watch out. There's somebody over us, over us. Bitch ass nigga.
Shit.
He thinks I just started playing the game. That's what he thinks. He thinks it's a game, baby. Yeah, here, there's ammo right here for you. Take this ammo.
My man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I know you. You got. I want you to get comfortable, bro. That's why I'm making you do this. Oh.
You pick it up.
Oh. Oh.
Ooh, whoa.
Oh.
The fish, eat the fish.
Oh, there's this nigga. He has a vendetta against me, bro. Because I killed him at the 8-ball skin. Oh, I'm coming for you, 8-ball skin. Where you at? Where's Doug's body? He's by Doug's body. Where's Doug? I'm looking for the yellow ass marker. Is that? Oh, you died too? Let's get a supply drop right here.
Thought, nigga, give me your ammo.
I'm glad you're having fun now. You can talk shit.
Nigga, I talk shit regardless. Oh. The supply drop ain't come down yet. Come on now. Chill out. Oh, you got me. God, King. He's tight. That's landed on his whole fucking camp.
I need to find some medium bullets for myself.
I may not be a shooter, but god damn it, I'm a shooter. Oh, chill, bro. Chill.
Oh, it's the same guy chasing me, bro. He has a vendetta, bro. 8-ball is dead looking for us because we bodied him. We violated him, bro. That's why. Let's violate him hard body. Where you at? Let's go fuck up 8-ball all game.
I'm landing in this spot again.
Yo.
Oh no. You thought I was coming back. Mm-hmm. Pussy. Got you right back, 8-ball. Oh, you're wildin'. You're wildin'. You're super wildin'. You're super wildin'.
Okay, bro. You need to get practice. This is the best way to get. What?
7 kills, bro. I got 7 kills, man.
I'm so happy, bro.
Fucking body and holes right now. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What's up? Yeah, step out of here. Final kill.
Well, you got the final kill?
I think so.
Let's go, baby. Just get comfortable, bro. Get comfortable playing regular mode. Gotta keep playing this until you get comfortable. Are you like making walls and editing the wall and fighting? Challenge yourself. I know it's easy to kill people, but like try to make it a little harder for yourself by like pretending like they shot at you, you build, you edit, shoot out, reset.
I gotta get good at one thing first.
Alright, that's fair. What are you getting good at? Shooting? Killing them?
Shooting.
Alright. Alright. Is the crouch helping? Is the crouch helping?
Crouch is helping. I'm learning to
L2 spam? Do you know how to L2 spam? So you should always use crouch and L2 and then fire. That's how you really make yourself more accurate. So you have to hover like your aim marker around the player and it's automatically gonna find them if you crouch. And it's gonna be super accurate the first shot. This game has first shot accuracy. You know what that is, right? I know you know what that is.
Okay, his skin is fire. It's fucking dinosaur. This is.
Oh yeah, is it a green dinosaur?
He was gray, but he had like electricity on his body.
Oh, is the skin that's out right now? It's a gray and green skin?
It was some sort of dinosaur. I don't know. Some sort of dragon-looking dude.
Yeah, you gotta finish the battle pass, bro. Make sure you finish the battle pass for the season, because like, if you do, you get a lot of skins.
I'm gonna finish it as I play, so.
Yeah, or. But you could also do challenges to finish it faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could look them up right now, and I'll help you do them, because we're in a good game mode to do challenges.
I was looking at some challenges earlier. Some shit like land in a specific place or open up chests in a specific place. Shit like that. So I wasn't really paying attention like which ones is which, but it's all good. Okay, I have rockets, but I need a rocket launcher.
You get it from a supply drop. Just collect ammo and guns, bro. And mats. That's your job. Everything else you can get in the game, like when you get closer.
Kind of far from the circle.
Yeah, we gotta run. But not yet. Look at how much time you have. And if you die, you can just respawn right in top of the circle. So just focus on getting mats and stuff. One death is nothing. You gotta get 100 kills, you know?
They got one kill already.
Who, you? Oh, they do. That's okay.
They do. Game like this, there's a lot of moving parts. I gotta take baby steps with it.
Yeah, word. There's mad moving parts. That's a fact, bro.
Yeah, I can't be trying to.
You have to learn different skills.
Yeah, I can't be trying to do expert builds when I can't even shoot straight yet.
Yeah, I think that's what Nick Merckx did first. Nick Merckx is a streamer, and the first thing he was known for his aiming, his positioning and aiming. He wasn't even a good builder. He's still not a good builder, but the point is like you gotta start with one skill.
It's all fine and good.
You want me to come pick you up in my boat or no?
Yes. Yeah, come find me.
Come find me. Just gotta start running.
Get the speed advantage. I'm just over here getting mats.
Alright. Oh no, you don't even need it, bro. You could just build up, build some stairs, and then glide.
Ah, sure.
You don't really need it.
Give me the damn.
this whole house, all they have is burst rifles.
I'm
Ridiculous.
so sorry.
Yo, bro, what the fuck?
I'm so sorry.
I just picked a terrible location to land.
Oh, the fucking storm. Oh shit.
Another burst rifle, bro. What? If you want to get a blue burst rifle, bro, just let me open your chest. I'm in the circle.
Yeah, flying.
Dude, I can't believe I have one gun. I have to break mad supply drop. Doug, where you at? You by me?
Kinda.
Okay, I'm gonna take my boat to you.
Where you at? I see. My guy. Ride a motorboat in different matches, 2 out of 3. Awesome.
I'm gonna try to shoot that thing down.
Can you see it?
Let's go. What happened, Baya? Oh no, kita cuma. He's just going to bed soon. Oh, we got niggas on it already? Come on.
Yo.
Come on, bro. Why you gotta be like that?
Yikes.
So let's go fight.
Let's do it. Already know I'm
Let's
done.
take the boat. Let's take the boat.
With the boat, with the boat, with the
We
boat.
don't get there faster.
Hit it.
Looks like there's action there. Nice try, nigga.
Look what dragon guy right here.
Got lasered.
Good.
I only have one gun. I'm gonna have to win with this one gun. Nice try, bitch.
Oh.
We're in the same team, man. We're just shooting at each other.
Good shit.
You saw that move? You saw what just happened to him?
Bandage bazooka coming in clutch, but I'm hurt. Just give me this. Nothing. Oh, you need this?
I'm good. Let's push. Oh, there's people here?
I think so. Maybe not. Alright, let's go.
Oh no, I just heard a trap.
I saw one too. You put one down?
Oh, like, let's get on this.
Man, fuck these stairs. Got one.
Oh, someone's shooting over there. Oh, I'm coming, baby. Right here, right here, right here.
Yeah, you're done.
Oh, okay. Good shit, bro. Oh, chill, bro. He's right there, right there, right there, right there. Okay, he got me.
Got him back. Oh, yeah, cut it out. Get a double Elan, baby. Cut it out. Oh shit, can't take me out.
Yeah, some bum ass nigga sniping from deep. Like, bro, cut it out. We're not playing. It's not that serious here.
Where you at? I see you. Oh, hey, whoa, somebody sniping. From,
Yeah, I hear him.
almost got me. Where you at, bro?
I'm right here.
I see. Oh, y'all wildin'. Y'all wildin' with the rockets. Am I in here?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I see my life again. Bandage. That's mine. I didn't even see how many kills I got.
You can see it. Press square.
Oh, 8 eliminations,
You got more than me.
2 assists, 0 revives, 0 revives. I mean, I didn't die.
No, you didn't pick anybody up when they were knocked.
I didn't pick anybody up. Okay, I did die. I definitely died. I definitely died.
Who the hell is pickaxing my boy?
I don't know who the fuck that was.
He is pickaxing the fuck out of you. Actually, let's go to our study spot. I'm gonna land here. Actually, this place has unlimited metal. If I just break all the plane parts,
That is a fact.
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Island.
Yeah, the metal island, the airplane island. Of course, some nigga's gonna land on my island.
Man, we got the fastest shit.
Come on, man, get the fuck out of this. Damn, bro, we're not gonna get no guns because of them. There's already somebody inside there. Let's just get the metal and leave.
What I'm about to do. Yep, I got the pump, so I'm about to go to the boat.
You know what we could do next game? We can go to the enemy zone as soon as we land and we could just fight.
No guns? Wow.
No, we get the guns with them. We're just gonna fight. Like, you know how it's a red and a blue zone?
Yeah.
Like, we can land on their side. No, good shit on the pull-up. We could go to the other islands then. Let's go back. Let's go to the island behind us. Let me just break this. This one.
Which one? To the right or left?
The blue, pink marker.
Castle?
I guess so. But they're on the other island.
Get these motherfucking nuts. All I got is a pump and a shield potion when I need to drink this, actually.
Got Grey AR, a Maz. This is not fighting guns, bro. Let's dip.
It's better than nothing, I'll take it for now.
Word. Let's wanna do it together after this. Like we always do. A tradition.
Alright. Oh, storm. Let's go. To the boat.
Alright, come on, let's go. And you could also put party assist on, by the way. You know how you have challenges? You can put it on party assist that if I do it, it's like you did it.
Yeah, I seen that.
Hit the boost.
You do it from in-game?
Yeah, it could be an end game, or it could be either way. Then you're in a squad.
The access.
No, you have to go back to the main menu and do it.
Okay, yeah, so I figured.
Go on the water, bro.
I'm trying to get back
The
to
boat is faster on the water, I think, yeah.
I'm trying to get back to it. I ended up on the land by accident.
Gonna go back and fish? No. I saw fishing spots, that's why. Oh, wait. We're already in the circle. Wait, what time is it? What'd you say? Okay. We'll get off at 1. How 12 what? What? 12:02? Oh, okay. I know you're gonna be messing around anyway. I'll get up at 1.
Alright, I need ammo in my life. I need to get some motherfucking kills. I got a bandage gun.
Yeah, I need a lot of stuff. Oh, I like this land. I like this spot. Mad metal. I feel like somebody just sniped at me.
Damn, I got bodied.
When it killed you? Where?
I was in the car field. Car lot, parking lot.
He bodied me too. Alright, let's go fuck him up.
Rocket launcher, he just shitted on me. Damn, I can't even do nothing.
He's a bitch. Give me with fall damage. Alright, war has begun. I'm landing by you. Yeah, I need guns. I gotta land by somewhere else. There's someone on the roof.
Man, I ran out of bullets. I need to get an AR or something.
Dog boy.
Shit. And I'm gonna eat it. I ain't got no good bullets. Let me stay out of the fight until I find some good bullets from somewhere else.
Not the worst guns.
Yo, all kinds of trash right now. I got a pump, I got a sniper. And
I'm gonna kill this man right now from the back, watch.
killing bazooka. Not good business. Alright,
Oh, this nigga just shot at me. You shot me, bruh. It hurts me. What you do?
I turned and sniped this nigga in the head.
Oh, look at this dumbass nigga. Hold on, let me shoot this dumb nigga right here real quick.
You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand how fire that sniper was just now.
I wish I saw it, bro. I really wish I did.
I shitted on that boy. He's pissed. If he don't log out, I'll cry.
But an RPG.
Well, I only have a fucking sniper.
Who, you?
Yeah. Ooh, snipe 130 years. I'm a beast.
Damn, the game is close. We got turned up, bro.
Well, I don't have any good guns, my guy, so I'm just trying to do what I can do.
Yeah, do your thing, bro.
All I have is a sniper and a taunt, so I can't do much. Oh, come on. I can get a different. Oh wow!
Who's RPGing people?
Ooh, you sniped me, shot me in the head, something.
You shot me, bro.
Shotgun. Son of a bitch. Shot me, bro. Come on, man.
It hurts me. There's a tac shotgun right here.
He's tight. He got shotgunned in the back of the head. And now this motherfucker is dead.
Bro, bro, if you saw what I just did to this nigga.
I wanna be the very best sniper.
Then no one ever was. Let me play. Let me fight with you. Come on, I'm coming.
Oh.
I'm gonna get him right now. Watch this.
Somebody still got me.
Ah, bro, did you just see what happened to this man?
The guy died.
Oh, you died. Oh, you didn't get to see what happened to him. Oh my god, he's upset.
Yeah.
A lot of upset people here today.
Are you kidding me with this? How? Oh, that's a teammate. I'm stupid. Jesus Christ.
Oh, game's about to be over right now. I'm about to win. Let me get back down here to get a kill. I'm hunting somebody. I'm hunting somebody.
I'm trying to snipe niggas.
Yeah. Return to lobby. Man, time flew. We're playing that. It's a time flew, bro.
The word.
Look at the challenges.
Hold on. Missions. Some of the daily challenges.
No, your regular challenges, your missions.
Missions.
Just pick something that you think it can be easier for you if somebody else did it with you. It could be like something like searching chess, because like if you land in the same place, if somebody else opens it, it's like you open.
Chess at Slurpee Swamp or Retail Row?
I'm gonna do it. There's no healing in this one. Like
Don't be scared, don't you worry. I wanna wait for
Okay,
Well,
Megan.
who?
Megan the Stallion. Alright, so we're gonna go to Retail Row or Slurpee Swamp. Retail Row it is.
We go here. Somebody's go too.
Slurpee Swamp it is.
I think it's a little safer for us. Oh, we got somebody with us. You wanna back off, or you wanna land with them?
I just gotta search the chest.
All right, let's do it.
I'm not
Alright.
tripping.
All right, I'm gonna take them out.
What do you think? Murder him.
Let's land over there. Let's land that corner right there. We're landing on this corner because they're in the middle. Am I shooting at you, bro?
I have no idea, so I'm leaving.
There's somebody on me.
Down. Shit.
You gotta always be able to make that. This little box we just made.
I had no mats. I didn't get
No, I'm saying like when you do, this is something you always have to know how to make.
Fair enough.
Oh, somebody's here.
Like, literally all I have is a pistol. Oh wait, God. Yeah.
More bots.
Are you kidding me? I didn't get shit.
Who just shot you?
This dude up here, he's 75 on top of the hill up here chilling. Hold on. Don't peek out. He's coming.
My. Oh damn! I almost had him.
It's alright. I had no guns. Pistol.
Damn! You should have told me, bro. I had guns. You always gotta tell me that. Everything I have, half is yours. It's like we're married, so.
Alright.
How many chests did we get?
I don't know. Let me check that somewhere. Where do I check that?
You could press. No, you don't. You could press your settings button, and the challenges is the first option.
Okay.
You see it?
Still in the loading screen.
You see how I'm tracking this nigga? Did you see? Oh, you weren't looking at.
So chest, I'm still 2 out of 7.
How many you got? Jump.
2 out of 7.
I'm gonna finish him right now. I'm gonna finish him right now, brother. Right on this side. Man, how the fuck are you ahead of me, dude? It's ridiculous. I jumped before you. What the fuck is this? Oh, the bus was going in that direction. You jumped a little later, so. I think we have the place to ourselves. We start in this corner, I'm gonna go to the other corner.
Alright, got a pistol. Attack shotgun. Okay, got a chest.
I got 132. Make sure you open and not break the chest.
I got it.
Cause like it's specific. Okay, I'm gonna hit the right side. You hit the left side since we're by ourselves.
Right here. No.
Oh.
It's a tree.
No, I hear gunshots.
I do too, kinda. I don't know. Yep, somebody's here.
No, wait for me. I got shields. Come to me. Come to me. Oh, he's chasing. He's chasing you. Oh, wait for him. Wait for me. Let him come on. Let him come out. He's upset.
Yeah, he's super upset.
He just got sniped. You can take all that. You thought he was gonna solo squad us? Fuck out of here, nigga. Yeah, there's a heavy fighting going on.
Yeah. Oh, another chest. 3 out of 7.
Take that. Unless you don't have space. The bandage launcher. Your challenge should be done by now. Okay, these niggas is fighting. We're going over there.
Hold on. Wait, whoa.
Oh my god, I couldn't build here. Oh, he got me. I took 100 off of him though. He's coming. He's coming. No, you can't save me. You gotta fight him. He's coming, bro. He's right here. He's low. I think you can get him. Build. Make sure you build. Circle and build. There you go. That's it. That's what you gotta do, bro. Simple stuff. His friend is coming now. He's coming from your left side, left corner. He's gonna come around, come from the south side on the roof. Uh-oh.
Shit.
He's here. He's here. It's okay. It's not your fault. You play good, bro. You built, bro. I just saw you build a wall and stairs, bro. That was good.
Search chest at Sweaty Sands retail row.
That's a new one.
Yeah, I got a Sweaty Sands retail row.
You wanna go back and do it? You wanna go back and assign it? Or no?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go lobby then.
What time is it?
I got a new gun.
12:23. Alright. Bless you, sir.
Thank you, bro. I'm sicky.
Man, I felt a little sick myself earlier today when I was on the way to work. I was sneezing up a storm.
Yeah.
Right now. I was like, what is going
Oh,
on?
I like this. Oh no, it's if I get the battle pass, then I can claim this fuck out of here. I don't want it.
How do I... Okay, these alter ego challenges, what's up with this? See stage 2 or 3, complete 2 missions.
So you have different alternatives to the skin. Yeah, you're gonna get more skins.
I see.
Like each skin has a version, like more like variation.
So I gotta complete all of this, all these challenges, basically.
Precisely, my brother.
I see. Alright, hold on.
You wanna play squads or you wanna be playing duos like we do?
Hold on.
Yo, I only died because I couldn't build in front of me. I had to take at least one of them out.
Alright, let's go ahead. Let's- Craggy, clear, salty, strange, dirty ducks. Open chest of Craggy Cliff and Misty Meadows. Craggy Cliff, Salty Springs, Dirty Ducks. Are those anywhere near retail row?
Why? Oh, you wanna do both at the same time? I thought we finished retail row. I opened all the chests, bro.
I have another mission for retail row.
What you gotta do?
Same thing, search chest. It's under a different mission.
Oh, I see. Okay,
I'm at 4 out of 7 for that one.
let's do retail. We'll go down there. You know we're gonna get people there. People love being nostalgic.
That's fine. Just trying to do these challenges, get them out the way, go from there. Alright, let me see. Craggy Cliffs is nowhere near retail row.
Hater. Come here, hater.
Salty
Hater.
Springs is nowhere near retail row. Where's Dirty Ducks?
Dirty Dogs right here.
Dirty Ducks where?
Right there.
Alright, let's go there.
Dirty Dogs?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's go to Dirty Ducks and then run to retail row.
got it. We could probably use the boat and get there.
Oh, yeah, go.
What's the mission for Dirty Dogs?
Just to land there. I got landed dirty. I got landed Dirty Docks, Craggy Cliffs, and Salty Springs. I think it said. It's another mission. So I figured I'd land there, head to Retail Row, open up a couple chests, and Gucci. It doesn't count if I walked over there, right? I'm definitely not about to make it. Damn. Oh, that's a landing. Landmark, Lake Canoe. I haven't visited here yet.
Alright, so you did now. I like this place. A lot of metal.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm gonna land on this one. You land on this one. Actually, no. Land in front of me. Land on this one. I want to keep you close. Oh, okay.
Already landed. So
Go
I'm just-
where? Up there?
See where I'm at?
Yeah, dude. How you landed there?
Bro, I thought I was going hella far, and it just said nope. That's where you about to be at, buddy.
Funny dude.
Alright, Dirty Docks is discovered. Awesome. Ooh, my favorite. Snipey Snipe.
Yeah, you do like that a lot.
The sniper.
But I don't blame you.
I've just discovered that sniping is very fulfilling.
It is a very fulfilling life.
In Destiny 2, I avoided sniping all through Destiny 1, and then in Destiny 2 I finally picked it up, and like I love it. I love
Bro, me too. Especially in this game, when you get comfortable with the clicks, like when you get deep snipes, bro, you're gonna love it. Especially when like there's somebody spraying you and just caught him with a snipe, that's it. He sit down, boy.
Alright, is there a boat here?
I don't know, but I found a lot of shit and I'm just in one place.
I ain't find nothing. Okay, I got a SMG, gray SMG, green sniper, and that's it. Aha, first rifle, I'll take that. Great first rifle. Fine.
And we have circle, we could go to retail, no problem. Because we have circle. Let's...
Ooh, a chest. Two chests. Alright, reverse. Look at that.
Shit should be done by now, bro. Right? Or there was an on party assist which just did the chest thing.
No, that's at Retail Row, remember?
What are we doing here? Just to land here?
Yeah, I was trying to land here because it's a mission where I have to land at Dirty Docks. I was gonna land here and then go to Retail
Okay,
Row.
let's go. Let's go. Because we got circle.
Yeah, we got a boat.
We gotta go by the water, look for a boat. There's a boat definitely over there.
boat.
I'm running. I was getting mats, my bad.
I'm doing the same thing.
Because we're gonna have to win the game, bro. If we're gonna play like this, we're gonna win the game. That's my plan. We're gonna win the game like last time. We're gonna get good position and corner people from the side.
Fair enough.
You gonna get that light ammo right here? Can you mark retail for me? On the map?
Are you not going any further?
Not really.
I see.
Come on. To go for the mountain, that's why. There's no point in us being on the boat.
Fair enough.
Damn, there was a supply drop where we were.
Dirty Ducks.
Oh, there's people here.
Got him.
Nope. There's a friend though.
Damn, you got me. He's in the corner right by my body. Oh, he went inside. He's trying to shoot at you, I think. I put some shots on him, but he might be healing. He ran out. Oh, he's finding somebody, I think. Oh, he got me. Oh, come on.
Oh, damn, he got me.
Son of beach.
Okay, I didn't expect there were people here. And these are OG players. The skin tells me. That Omega skin, that purple skin. Oh, he just picked this boy up. Fuck you, bro. Like he never even died. Oh, you deserve that, bro. I should have played that a lot smarter. We should have moved together instead of me by myself. What you got on your challenge?
Let's do this ball game. Let's go. Alright, let's go straight to retail. Search chest. Fishing spot. Oh, I got search chest at Dirty Ducks or Salty Springs as well. I can do that too. Okay. Anyway,
You don't want to go to Salty. That's the middle of the map. We're gonna die.
fair enough.
Do you want to do dirty or retail?
Retail, where we go.
We'll jump one right here. That's gonna be the shortest distance. We might have to land on the houses. I'm gonna land on this shit right here. Land on the brown house, bro. Land on that one. And keep me updated on enemies.
Damn. Got a chest. You shooting?
No?
Somebody's on me. Somebody's on me. Somebody's on me. Whoa. I didn't even see him, dude. My awareness is not there. Well, I'm just focusing on getting chests. I ain't tripping.
Bro, there's gonna be a point where, like, even though we're focusing on that, we're still gonna body niggas.
Yeah. All in due time.
Yeah, it just takes time, bro. I think we've been playing pretty
Yeah,
consistently.
sniper. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
Oh, I think there's a sniper shootout mode in this game. It's just sniping.
Well, that sounds fun.
You gonna play it? Go play it. Like. So Rob, my brother just said, mm-hmm.
He said,
He said, mm-hmm. My brother really likes that mode. Everything is sniper, so you either have to go close range or you gotta do deep range. Oh, this is perfect for a little adventure. Nobody's gonna go there unless they're really thirsty. And it's possible. Thirsty niggas out here. Don't just aim down, you're gonna miss. Gotta stay up in the air a little more.
yeah, I'm not aiming down.
Yeah, it's gonna take too long. So if you spam X, you move faster. While you have a diagonal trajectory. You're basically moving between your glider and your free fall. Let's aim for the back. Alright, we're gonna do something differently from now on. We're gonna stay in the same house, loot the same place. We're gonna oh, why is there somebody watching me right now?
Somebody's watching me.
Mm-hmm. Somebody probably just died and like his screen just went here. He already died and he's watching me landing.
Oh yeah.
Think about that. Oh, I got a nice chest.
I just landed. Kind of far from you, but I'll catch up.
I've got a whole team watching me right now. Why? I don't know. Nobody here. Got a sniper if you want it. Green though. I'll let you know if I see a nicer one.
Fine by me. Take it. Only got a pump and a med kit. You snipe.
I'm carrying it. Come. You gotta be comfortable editing that pyramid, bro. Da-na-na.
Gotta be comfortable editing, period.
What?
So I have to be comfortable editing, period.
Yeah, word. Period. That's the line level.
Yeah.
You need to open a chest? Here, there's one here if you want to open it.
You got like 3 years Fortnite head start on me.
I do.
So I got
Not 3 years. The game's only been around for like a year. Not that much.
Been out for 2
The 2?
years, too. For sure.
I think it's 1 year, brother.
We'll look it up.
Alright, whatever.
But regardless.
Regardless, yeah, it's gonna. But I feel like you closed in a lot of the gap already. And just started playing, which is pretty impressive.
I'm trying to get used to the controls, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I made you.
Challenge should be done by now. I think it's done. I gotta find a new challenge. Let's see something.
Thanks for you.
Catch item for fishing spots, take damage to any structure. Open chest with dirty ducks. Alright, let's go with dirty ducks next match.
We go right now. Actually, no, we won't make it. Waste of time. We're gonna play smart right now.
Yeah, let's just stay in the circle. I need some mats, that's what I need to be doing.
Oh, this pistol is mad OP.
Okay. This pistol's OP, purple.
I'll give you the gold one if you want.
Got a submachine gun, AR, and a pump shotgun, and a sniper.
What's your order of your guns? You should have the,
Pump, sub, then assault rifle.
and then you should have sniper.
Sniper in 4 slot? Okay.
Yeah. There's 2 ways to do it. That's one way, and the other way is assault rifle. I tried both ways, but what I showed you is like for people that like get more kills. What I gave you is for people that are more combat heavy. Oh, RPG here.
Ooh.
You want it? Okay, take it. There's shields for you to carry.
What do I give up?
Do you have ammo for your bolt?
Yeah, I got 13 shots. My sniper. I found a shield potion. Oh, I need it. Here we go. So. Alright, minis. Got all this crap. Alright, 19 shots for my bolts. We're on the circle. Nice. Very nice.
Tell me if you need anything. Ammo.
I think I'm okay. For the most part, I got 86 AR rifle. I got 25 sniper shots. I got 84 machine gun.
Look at that. Great. You know you could upgrade the gun with materials, right?
At the workstation.
At the workbench, yeah. We got one more house we have to check. This one. Go loot that house. And I'm gonna loot the middle. I have almost 999 wood.
And purple sniper. Yeah. Want the blue one?
Yeah, why not? We're gonna play pretty passive anyway. We might as well have the sniper. Where's it at?
Right here.
Yo, do you have a pistol or SMG?
SMG, AR, sniper.
I'll take a pistol. This pistol's pretty nice. Oh, we got circle, bro. We need to back off. We need to leave here. Because people are gonna jump us. We need to get on the mountain or something. Get on this shit right here.
Oh, what am I doing?
It's okay, it's okay. Get comfortable.
Try not to break the trees.
So they don't know.
Yeah.
You gotta edit that. Edit one box, now reset.
I'm bugging.
Did you just lose health? Well, thank God.
Yeah, you way better than that. That to me.
Yeah, bro, I got practice, that's why. I used to suck at this. So now we got the super high. My bad. There you go.
Holy shit.
This is a little pussy what we're doing, but This is mad pussy, but whatever. We just need to win. Let me see. Let me know if you notice anybody coming in. People are probably just that lazy.
Yeah, we gotta move. If we jump off, we can't open up a parachute, can we?
No. This is not that mode. Come this way.
I meant to take that out the game. That's so whack.
Took what out the game?
That you could like.
They had it in the game for a little bit, and then they took it out.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of mass doing that bullshit.
Start breaking some trees, cuz.
Yep. Dog, we gotta stay close, okay? That's the main goal.
Fair enough.
It don't matter if they know our position. Oh, the game is gonna be in retail. Oh shit. We need to get the other side of the storm. We need to be right here. That's the spot we need to be at.
Okay, let's go. Here comes the storm.
Yeah, we got on the slow side. It's gonna take mad long for this to come in.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you, Doug. I see you. Now you get it. You gotta build up.
There's only 10 people left in the game.
You have to play smart, bro. We should be able to win.
You at?
I'm on the hill. Oh, I saw somebody right there. There's a team right there. They're on top, being bitches right now. They did what we did. There's two people up there. I didn't shoot at them. You stay behind that, or you can try to push them. Let's see where the storm goes first. Don't move yet. Okay, it does go that way. All right. Let's be a little patient. Let's let them get rushed first.
Fair enough. They don't see me. Supply drop to the right.
Can we go this one? Come on.
No rush.
Okay, let's go. Stay close. Damn.
I was too eager.
Yeah, you were too eager. You're like, I'm ready to kill them, bro.
I'm ready to fight.
The skin, you see that blue knight skin? This is from season 2. Say, Baya? Okay, my bad.
OG.
My last one. You can play one more or done? Play one more.
What's up, you? Okay, do one more.
And then we're gonna go do some other shit. So you see that knight skin, the blue knight? This is a season 1 skin. So this is not somebody that we just rush eagerly.
Yeah, it was a super OG. He was ready.
He was ready. You see his builds?
He had the high. Yeah, he fucked that build up just now in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he would be sitting in the last top 10, so it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Scheme like that.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna do one more, then I'm off this.
Yeah, me too. I only play Fortnite when I play with you.
Yeah, have you seen this Cybertruck from Tesla?
I've heard about this. That is some fire shit.
I can't even say it's fire, it just looks weird as fuck, but the whole point of it is to not look like any other truck on the market right now. It looks mad different. I'm sorry to go on. Ratul 420.
Really.
Ratul. Dusty Dots. 30 dots. Yeah.
Can jump over here. That's the shortest distance, I think. I really like the physics of this game. Well, on this right here.
Ooh, 2 out of 3. I know.
What?
One of my missions, got some progress on it. I landed in Dirty Dots, so it actually worked.
I'm trying to get your new skin, bro.
Appreciate it.
That's so much.
I can only imagine.
Bro. These underskins.
I need to open one more chest. Okay, so I knocked somebody down.
No way, I'm coming.
100%.
You tell me, bro. Oh my god, is that your first 2 kills?
Yeah.
How come I don't see it on the screen that you had 2 kills?
It was on screen.
Were they bots? Did they build?
Yeah, one did.
Okay. They box up, but they're not bots. But they just build like a wall.
Hit the wall.
By the way, better than nothing. Got a mini for you.
Fuck. find one more chest in Dirty Ducks.
You're gonna find one in here. There's one right by me. Left, yep.
Weird. Dockyard deal done. Alright. Battle Pass 20. I got the water guy, Ripple. Riptide, whatever that means. Ripple. So, time to go.
No, we don't. This one is right now. The circle's right next to us.
So confident. That's what I've been doing this a long time.
The AUG? Is that the gun you have? It's like a burst gun, but it's not a FAMAS. Yeah, you got the AUG. It's a nice gun.
Perfect. Oh shit. You said right behind the red and blue containers. Shit.
Guy overbuilt.
A little bit. But it's okay. But if you say this, sorry.
Yeah, I overbuilt on this thing. I like it. This building you're doing.
Just trying to be like you, bro. Contact cards.
You want the RPG? Actually, I'll take it.
push. Alright, I'm gonna start moving towards the motherfucking circle. Come on, my brother. Let's set out.
On my way. Let's run this way.
Alright.
We can avoid conflict.
I see your chest. Blue tack.
So proud.
To our left.
You mean left? Oh, but
Got some shots on him.
oh, bro, they're trying to snipe us, bro. We gotta be a little careful. Just stay low. There's a nigga on that. Shoot the RPG. No, ready, we're gonna do it at the same time. Say goodnight.
Got some shots on him. Yeah, on the storm. Got one.
Got the other one.
Damn, about to die. 3, 2, 1, I'm dead. Shit.
You are.
Let me get out the storm. I'm so close. Get out the storm, my guy.
I am.
Come on, crawl, nigga, crawl, nigga, crawl, nigga, crawl, nigga, crawl, nigga, crawl, crawl. Let's do this.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I wasn't touching. Are you kidding?
That shit really blew mine, bro.
Are you fucking kidding me?
How the fuck am I supposed to get you now?
I wasn't even.
That's ridiculous. That's my fault, bro. I picked it up already.
Nigga, yeah, get my sniper. God damn it. Give my AUG.
Already have an AUG.
Oh man, I'm so my good ass gun. It's bad.
Yeah, you had the loadout.
Yo, the purple gun. I got to kill this now. Fuck me.
I let you down, bro. I'm sorry. Well, I could go back into the storm and do it. Actually, not. It's a dub.
No.
I just gotta win the game.
Son of bitch. There's no freaking. What you call it around here? No reboot van. That's so trash.
The van's in the storm, all three of them.
It's so fucking trash.
OD, bro.
You know when to take a shield potion.
Oh, yeah. My skin isn't even low key like that.
Kidding me, dude?
It's not even dark. They're gonna see me as soon as they walk around.
forgot that I forgot that I was down, so I was still bleeding out. I was gay as fuck.
Oh, this is away from me that way.
There's a revive thing somewhere. Yep, he's building. Yeah, they chop. Oof. Oof, big oof. They building.
I feel like I'm gonna need all the mats I can get.
That's a fact.
Are they gonna spray me? Oh yeah.
Oh, you in the circle, you Gucci. I gotta come to you. It's my fight. Oof. Big oof. Ooh, behind you. Somewhere. Bro, put a wall there. Yeah, he's behind you. He's like literally behind you, crouched. This might really ran up like to your like straight behind you.
Sometimes you gotta retreat.
For sure. Tactical retreat. Nothing wrong with that. Somebody got a rocket? Somebody picked up my rocket? Yeah, you had a rocket. Somebody came and got your rocket on the way in.
You know I'm doing this?
Oof, good shot. Good shot.
You got confused, niggas.
Yeah, he's hiding. He's scared. That shit hurt. I hear feet. Somebody running up on you. Yep, in the forest to your left. There's two people on you. Oh, rocket launcher. Ooh, right here. Ooh, my nigga Ratsu's nasty.
Oh damn!
Oh nah, you did good, bro.
Did you see that move I hit with?
You did real good.
Alright, bro. Good night. I'm gonna text you.
Alright, dude.
Oh, he's alive. I should have watched him.
It's okay.
Good GG's, bro. That was fun. Let's play tomorrow, son.
Okay, take it easy.
I'm gonna hit you up later when I go to the room.